Hello friends, how are you all? Hope you are all doing fine. Today I have brought something interesting for you. This topic I have brought to you after a lot of research and compilation. So are you ready? Then let's get started. We have all come across ants, but have you ever wondered as to how many types of ants there are? Have you wondered as to how many years they live, how they mate? Do you know their life expectancy? Are you aware of how they eat, see and listen? If you don't, then don't worry. This video will give you a peep into the ant world. Ants are considered to be as old as dinosaurs. There are 7 billion people on earth. That's quite a lot of people. But it's nothing compared to ants. There are about 10 quadrillion ants on the planet. There are more than 12,000 species of ants all over the world. The area where the ants live are called colonies. There are 3 categories of ants in a colony: the queen ant, the female workers, male workers. There are different types of ants: the acrobat ant, the Allegheny ant, the Argentine ant, fire ant, field ant, carpenter ant, harvester ant, moisture ant, furrow ant, thief ant, pavement ant. The ants are also found in different colors: blue, brown, red, green, yellow, orange. But there are certain interesting facts about ants. Queen ants can live for many years and they produce millions of babies. Queen ants can live up to 30 years. Worker ants live for 1 to 3 years. Male ants die after mating with female ants and live no longer than a few weeks. Queen ants and male ants alone have wings, while the worker female ants do not have wings. Queen ants sleep 9 hours per day. Workers sleep just half as much and get to rest by taking hundreds of short power naps. Another interesting fact about ants is that ants don't have ears. Ants hear by feeling vibrations in the ground through their feet. Ants have no lungs. Oxygen enters through tiny holes all over their body and carbon dioxide leaves through the same holes. Another thing about ants is that ants have 2 stomachs, one to hold food for themselves and one for the others. Ants can swim also. Ants can lift 20 times its own body weight. As we have already told, ants live in colonies. Some colonies as big as a 2-stair building. Ant colony is built by the queen ant. The largest ant colony is in Argentina, which is 6,000 kilometers. Ants communicate, and their communication is very strange. Ants communicate with each other. If you watch ants on a trail, you will notice that they often touch each other with their antennae. The reason for this is that each ant colony has a unique smell. So members recognize each other from that smell. Ants also carry smell of the food they collect so that the other ants can tell what they have found. When a member of the colony dies, the carcass will lie where it fell for a period of roughly 2 days. After 2 days, the living ants take the dead ant to an ant graveyard in a respectful procession. Initially, it was thought that in these 2 days, ants paid respects to the fallen member. However, Harvard entomologist Edward O. Wilson discovered that in reality, the dead ant must lay there for 2 days because the other ants simply don't realize it is dead. 2 days after death, the tiny ant corpse begins emitting a chemical called oleic acid. To an ant, the smell of oleic acid equals death. The experience of death is not a sense of loss, not a dead body, not an ascent to ant afterlife. It is simply the smell of oleic acid. As soon as the living ants smell the smell of oleic acid, they spring into action, carrying the tiny decaying intruder out of their midst and dump it into the pile. Even more interesting, Wilson discovered that if you give a live ant a bath in oleic acid, it is as good as dead to the other ants. The still alive but oleic acid covered ant is carried off to the dead ant pile by the live ants trying to clean themselves.